So let's talk about motivation. I know so many of us thrive on it, right? You'll watch some video or some reel or something that will give you that dopamine, and you'll be like, yes, I want to crush it. Yay. And the next day comes, and the day after, and now you are making excuses. You do not have enough motivation, right? Now, before even doing anything, my question to you is, why do you even need motivation? I mean, what even is motivation, so to say? If you just break the word down, motivation, it comes from motive and action. Motive is the reason, action is the doing. But here's the catch, the feeling we associate with motivation, that hyped up, rushed to start something new, right? That isn't really motivation. That is your emotion. It's a temporary state. It comes and it goes, and it leaves you high and dry when you need it the most. Because you are taking action from a place of feeling something. That's when you feel like a conqueror who is going to do some transformation in the gym, and then you turn out to be someone who skips their workout next day in the morning because it is cloudy outside or you just don't feel like going. You are making excuses, and that is a scam. It's not that motivation does not exist, but it only exists as a spark. You cannot build a fire with just a spark, no wood. But most people who keep waiting for that spark, and they keep restarting over and over and over again. They get caught up in this cycle. And I know most of you must have taken some New Year's resolution, right? Super passionate for the first 3 days, telling the whole world, rebranding your Instagram. And by day 10, tell me how many of you are even doing 1% of what you have decided. Now, the real question here is why? Because why is this happening? Because you relied on a rush. You did not set a system. I have gone through this myself. There's been time when I would wake up feeling like, I could build up an empire, and then the next 2 days I couldn't even reply to an email, not because I did not want to, but because I was addicted to that rush. And the moment it dipped, because life moves in rhythms, I dipped too. This is how falling out of motivation looks, not with a bang, but with that silence that I will do it tomorrow. And tomorrow keeps getting pushed to tomorrow. If you have ever felt like that, trust me, you're not alone. Now, if I talk about these things from a metaphysical point of view, motivation isn't what moves the universe, momentum is. Think about it. Planets don't spin because they are motivated. They spin because of force, rhythm, and momentum. It's the law of rhythm. Everything swings up and down, in and out, but it keeps moving no matter what. No matter how still you feel inside, everything in the universe is still in motion. Even if it looks still to you, it is still in motion, which means waiting to feel ready is against the law of the universe. The right time does not come. You move, and time bends around the moment. Newton's first law, which says that an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon. And we are no different. The longer we stay still, the harder it is to move. But the moment you take that first step, the second becomes easier. That is why people who build something, athletes, entrepreneurs, elites, these people do not rely on motivation or wait for that timing when they feel inspired. They are the ones who have found their way to keep going even when they don't feel like it, right? And we are going to talk exactly about what keeps them going so you can achieve your desired reality, because the real power lies in rising above motivation, as it might get you started, but only consistency can make you stick. Now, let's talk about how actually do you rise above motivation and start living from a place which is deeper, something that does not fade away just because you had a bad day. Now, there are three ways I have seen this really work out, not just in my life, in the life of high elites, entrepreneurs, athletes, people who've built something powerful, right? They have built those desired reality for themselves. Now, number one. build identity based habits. Understand this. The reason why you're struggling with developing that habit is because you are trying to focus and force actions without shifting your identity. But when you make the shift internally, your actions align automatically. You will not need to force yourself of doing anything once you come in alignment with what you see yourself as. Okay, so we are not talking about writing a to do list or sticking to a calendar. It's about asking, who do you see yourself as? Do I see myself as a writer, a designer, a business owner? The brain does not fight identity, it fights habits, maybe. If you believe you are somebody who values health, you do not have to push yourself to eat better. It becomes automatic because you see yourself like that. Now, you are not chasing something anymore, you are living from it. Understand this. James Clear talks about this in his book, Atomic Habits. Neural pathways strengthen based on repeated identity aligned behavior. The more you operate from who you see yourself to be, you are then literally rewiring your mind to default to action instead of needing a push, needing that spark. Number two, use friction and follow wisely. You do not need to be super disciplined all the time. I mean, it is not even possible, right? And it is not realistic. What you actually need to do is make things easier for yourself, make your life easier. Like just reduce the resistance between you and the thing that you really want to do. Now, let's say you want to start reading more. Now, do not wait for a perfect mood or an hour. Just keep your damn book on your pillow or the desk where you will just see it. That tiny move makes a huge difference. So, if you are planning to get serious about, let's say, content creation, instead of setting up everything from scratch, you keep your recording space ready. No setup, no excuse. Even with food, if you want to eat healthy, plan ahead. Don't wait for the time when you're super hungry because in that moment your brain will go for anything and whatever's the fastest available option. Now, it sounds very simple, but this small stuff changes everything because you are making the action so accessible to you that you do not need to rely on motivation to get started. It just becomes obvious and easy. Law of cause and effect. When you change the cause, even slightly, the effect shifts on its own. Small inputs create different outcomes. So, when you reduce the friction at the starting point, then you automatically change the ripple that is going to follow, which is the effect. Once you have removed the emotional drama from beginning momentum, then the journey becomes easier. So, yeah, it is not always about pushing harder or being in this delusion that I need to push, 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 hustle. No, just makes things easier for yourself. Sometimes it is not even about doing big things, but doing the small things right. Number three, anchor your why in vision, not the emotion. You probably set goals when you are in a certain mood. You feel inspired, you feel hyped up, and then you decide, yes, I'm going to do this. But here's the problem. Here's the side problem, which is that moods change. So, the moment that emotion fades away, so does the goal. That's why you fall out of track. But when you actually follow through, it is not because you're feeling something. It is because you're moved by the vision. You are seeing your vision in front of your eyes when nobody can see. Even you cannot see, but you can see it. You have seen something so clear in your mind that it becomes real to you, even before anyone else sees it. Steve Jobs, he once said that the only thing that kept him going was that he loved what he did. But honestly, it was deeper than just love. He saw the iPhone before it existed. The vision pulled him through. The vision pulled him forward even when the process gets ugly. It isn't always motivation. It was him knowing that where he was headed. And that's what brings the real shift. When your why is rooted in a solid vision, instead of a passing feeling, you do not keep questioning yourself. You do not need to wait for motivation. You move anyway because you do not reach to your desired reality, you just become somebody who deserves that, right? Because in your mind, you have already stepped in that reality. You are just catching up to its physical manifestation. Motivation is temporary, but your vision is eternal. And you do not need another YouTube video to remind you of what you need to do or what you could do. You just need to really, really, really start quietly, consistently, and without this whole drama, right? And you will notice that the world starts to shift not because you feel different, but because you act from someone who already has what you think you want to achieve. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.